up? Hey Facebook, hey Instagram. All right, I am excited to be here today. Was up in the air whether I was gonna go live or not, and I'm like, you know what? I missed them. Let me hop on here. So welcome everybody. Welcome to From Unmothered to Empowered. I am Anjanika Brooks, also known as the Unmothered Coach, and I am here to help you process through having a difficult mother-daughter relationship and coming to the place where you're ready to heal. So if you are new to the page, welcome. I give tips, I do talks, and provide resources to help you manage yourself, because that's what this is all about. And so today I'm talking about the courage to focus on you. It is so fitting because a lot of the time when I talk about being unmothered, I do talk about the pain points. I talk about, how it hurts when you don't have what you need, when your mother isn't there for you, how it takes a lot out of you to deal with that and to go on functioning and living. And so while I focus on the painful parts of that, I don't ever want you to forget the focus. The focus is always on you. Always on you. And so I just want to talk about that today, and just, give you some reasons why you need to focus on yourself if you're ready to heal, and some tips to get you started. So that's all this is about. I'm trying to get you fired up because I know the secrets. I have the keys, and everybody out there doesn't have them. Now, can you get to it? Can you learn it? Yes. But I don't want you to take 19, 20 years like I did, going through the pain, going through the drama to figure out what it is that you need to do in order to heal. So if you are tired of where you've been, if you're tired of the same old thing and you're ready for something new, pay attention because I got it for you. All right. So first off, I am the author of this book. The book is called Unmothered, A Daughter's Guide to Acceptance, Healing, and Renewal. And so I wrote the book, like I said, to help women like myself, women who have had difficult relationships with their mothers. They may have had a toxic, narcissistic, absent mother, but somewhere when they were growing up, that relationship was not intact, and the foundation of becoming a woman, of being who you need to be, did not develop, didn't happen. Or if it happened, it was tumultuous. It was a fight. It was a battle. There was a lot going on. And so I wrote the book, and in telling my story and my mother's, I share 9 steps to healing in the book. And it really breaks down to acceptance, healing, and renewal. And so I am not going to get into all of the steps today, but let's talk about why you need the courage to focus on you and how it's going to help you heal. So, like I said, you know my story. I always had my mother present. She was always with me. My father was the absent parent. And so I had my mother, grew up in a house with her, my grandmother, and my aunt, who was my grandmother's sister. So, house full of women. My mother was there. She was young, but she wasn't mentally present, like in tune. She wasn't able or willing or however you want to say it. She wasn't providing what I needed from her as a mother. I was definitely getting taught, getting nurtured by my grandmother, first of all, who was a phenomenal woman, an amazing mother to many of us, not just like as her granddaughter, but there were nieces, nephews, plenty of people that woman raised. She was amazing. However, there's nothing like the connection from your own mother, and there's nothing like seeing that rejection firsthand from your own mother. And so it was difficult growing up. Fast forward, I'm in my 20s. My mother and I are still battling, fighting it out, and she is diagnosed with breast cancer. And from that point, things moved very quickly. It was about a span of 6 months, and then she died. And so I tell the story, right? I talk about it in the book if you want the details. But the bottom line is she died, and we didn't get to work on, to fix, to solve the problems that we were having in our relationship. And I didn't know why, and I didn't know how, and I didn't know what to do. So where I thought I had closure with her death and moving on with my life, I really didn't. And so what I found is that the biggest thing I learned in losing her is that I really needed to focus on me. And I truly believe that if God had spared her life, and if my mother were still here, and we weren't getting along, I would completely still be focusing on her and her behavior and how I want her to treat me and teaching her how to love me and teaching her how to be a mother. I feel that I would probably be fighting this battle until death. And even when I went no contact, and I talk about that in my book as well, I still had some things going on with me because I went no contact for all the wrong reasons. And that's a whole different live. And if you want information on going no contact, or if you're considering it, I have content here on the page. So I'm not going to get into that. But even with going no contact, it doesn't solve the problem of the mother-daughter relationship and the pain that you're going through. So I fully believe that I would still be fighting the battle. And so one of the rare good things that sometimes can come out of losing someone that you love is that it forces you to turn inward and to do some soul searching. And so I believe that, it was by design. God took her. She's gone. That was how her life was meant to be. But it was also to help me open my eyes to the fact that the healing was within me. I always had the answers and I didn't know it. Now, when you're growing up, you're a child. And so when your mother isn't who you need her to be and she's not showing up, it's very hard to parent yourself and to understand all of that. And that is a tough time. And so for those of us that come through, we do not come through unscathed. We come through with wounds and with pain and with injury, but we still come through. And so no matter how you come through that, once you are an adult, it is your job. It is your responsibility to take care of you and to heal you. It's just like, if you break a bone or you hurt yourself or something happens to you, and, people see what's happened. They can sit there and they can be like, you need a doctor. You need to go get help. But if you don't do it yourself, if you don't get up and do something about the problem, then you're going to bleed out, or you're going to, perish, or whatever it is, or that bone is just going to be broken because you didn't do what you were supposed to. And so that's all I'm trying to tell you today, is that you have to have that courage to focus on you. While it's easy to look at your mother and say, she did this, or she didn't do that, or, here's where she hurt me. Here's where she broke me. This is how I got to where I am. It's easy to do that. But it takes courage to not stay there. It takes courage to move on from that place and to begin to say, okay, it was never about me in the first place. What your mother went through, what happened to her, yes, it caused her to see you as her reflection and then to project her issues and her problems and all those things on you. That's what happened. But it doesn't mean that it was about you. It was really, her behavior was about her. She just saw you as the outlet. She just saw you as, oh, here's this reflection of me. Oh, is she going to be better than me? Oh, is she going to have these things that I wanted? And that caused some problems within her. So it was never about you in the first place. Her behavior and the choices she made were never about you in the first place. Because each one of us comes here and we're individuals. Even your mother. It's just that happened to be her title. And she may not have filled the role like mine didn't. That was her title, but she didn't fill the role all the time. She would sometimes be off doing the things she wanted to do that weren't good for me. She didn't always see me as her responsibility. And so it was never about you in the first place. So the behavior that your mother had and how she treated you and how she acted, it seemed like it was about you. And you took on things that, like, okay, how can I fix myself to make her love me? How can I change? How can I please her? So you took on that as a way to make her change. And it didn't work. If it worked, you wouldn't be on here. if it worked, you wouldn't still be struggling. You wouldn't still be trying to find the answers. You still wouldn't be going around in circles or trying to heal. So it didn't work, all the things that you tried to do in yourself to make her behave a certain way, because it was never about you. And so the same way it was not about you is the way that you need to understand you're an individual. And so in order to fix yourself, you have to focus totally on you. You can't expect her to change how she has been. And if your mother has passed away, you cannot go back in time. You know this. But you also can't change her to be like, okay, she was a good mother just because she's gone. And so I want to say something right here. Imagine you just being beholden to your mother's reputation, to her memory, and all of that, and trying to uphold that, and trying to purify that, and trying to make that good, and suffering. Imagine just like trying to make her like be this beautiful, magnificent, wonderful person while you suffer, because you know that she wasn't, and she didn't give you the things that you needed. It would make no sense. It would make no sense for a person that's not here, for you to be trying to preserve their image and their reputation while you yourself are going through. And so it is time to shift the focus to you if you are truly serious about healing. And if you want, what's there for you. And so I didn't get the things that I wanted. My mother passed away. There is no chance to fix it. So now what we got? Me, here, a messed up adult. Self-doubt creeping in. Looking good on the outside, but on the inside all messed up. Battling, self-pity. Not showing myself any love. Feeling like I'm not worthy. Not being enough. Not being comfortable in my own skin. Does any of this sound familiar? Is this resonating with you? Because this is the state that you're left in when you don't get what you need from the woman that birthed you. When some pieces are missing, when you don't feel loved, when you've been jumping through hoops and trying to mold and manipulate yourself into someone else, then you end up with a version of yourself that you don't even recognize. You don't know how to act in certain situations. And it's because you haven't taken time to get to know you. And so it's now time to do that. Even as an adult, I had to realize, the onus was on me. And so I just want to share that with you, that you already have all the keys. You have the secret. It is inside you. No amount of anything you do can change someone else. If your mother is going to change, for those of you that have your mother still with you, if she's going to change, she has to make that decision. You can't make her do anything. And so the only person you have control over is you, yourself. And so it is time to stop being distracted by what she's doing. Stop being deterred by what the family is saying, and to shift the focus on you. And I'm going to tell you why. All right. So the first part of what I have for you today is, yes, this is the setup. This is how it happened. We were hurt. Some of us have experienced trauma because of the way our mother talked to us, spoke to us, treated us, or just her not being there. But now it's time to turn it around. And so in order to do that, I want to tell you why you need to do it, and then I want to tell you how to get started. And so first, the why. Why? It's just what I said. Nobody can live for you. You can't change anyone. You only have the ability to change yourself and to do things for yourself. You can inspire people, you can talk to people, you can encourage them, but you can't do anything for them. So you might as well focus on you, because it's wasted energy to try to change someone else. It doesn't mean you can't love somebody and you can't share good things with them, but being able to have control rests with you. You are the only person you can control. And so you have to live for yourself. And it is your responsibility to get the help that you need. And so if you know that you need a therapist, if you know that you need a coach, if you know that you need a community, then you have to do those things that are going to help you move forward. Don't stay out here on your own hoping that it's going to feel better or be different one day magically, because that's not how things work. Everything that you want in this life takes work, intention. You have to be able to go after it, okay? Or it's not going to change. All right? And so the other thing is, the other reason why you have to focus on you right now is because if you don't deal with what's going on, it will continue. And so whether you have a daughter or not, whether you have even siblings or nieces, nephews, whoever it is around you, or whether kids just see you out and about, the pain and the hurt that you have inside finds ways to get out. And it will continue if you don't address it. So don't think just because nobody can see it and it's underneath the surface like it was with me, like where I was looking like everything was fine, but inside crumbling. Don't think that it won't find a way out. It will seep out and it will affect those around you. Whether it's just by silence. Because for some of us, it's that communication piece. We get so good at burying things and keeping it inside and not sharing that then we don't know how to communicate with people at all. Including people that are close to us. Including those that we want to be around, that we want to share our lives with. So don't think that it won't come out because it continues if you don't deal with it. And then the other reason is, if you don't deal with what has happened to you and the places that you need to heal, if you don't address it, then you are never going to show up in your full power. You're never going to be who you're meant to be because you're going to be battling something. You're always going to have some self-doubt, something going on in there. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be, once you heal and you address things, you're going to be all powerful and perfect and life is going to be great. There's always going to be storms that come and go. There's always going to be life because, life isn't so that we can write our future and make it perfect. We don't have the power to do that. We just have to go day to day. But it is how you respond. It is how you react. That's what determines what happens to you is your responses. And so when you get yourself straight, when trouble comes, when problems come, when you're triggered or something happens, you know how to handle yourself. And so that's what I'm talking about. So think about it like this. You're probably familiar with Superman. I love superheroes and like the whole Marvel verse and like all of this stuff. Me and my family are big on that. But let's just talk about Superman. Superman has all these powers. He has X-ray vision. He can fly. He's strong. All these things. And he's a pretty good writer, reporter. Okay? Journalist. But on top of that, he has a weakness. And the weakness is kryptonite. So Superman has all these powers, but if he gets around kryptonite, he can't use them. Like basically, he's paralyzed. He can't do anything. He's completely stopped. And that's how these demons can be, these battles, this pain that's inside you. It can be like that. Like you can have so many gifts, so many abilities. You can be a great speaker. You can, be able to dance, to build computers. You can do all these things. You might be a gifted scientist, but you can't tap into it fully when you're battling demons because it's like kryptonite. Or it's like fighting with one hand behind your back or both hands behind your back. So you're not as effective as you're going to be if you work on yourself. So you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be a person that never goes through anything. That's not what I'm telling you. But what I'm telling you is when you begin to heal from the inside out, it changes you. What you've gone through will change you. And when it changes you for the better, that is true healing. And then you can take the healed version of yourself and go places and do things and, commune with people and engage with people. And it's on a different level. All right. So how do you get started when you know that you're ready and you don't want to stay in a hurt place and in a broken place and in a place where you're least effective, but you're ready to have your life. You're ready to live, to truly live, and to be on purpose. How do you get started? So the first thing you need to do is to get selfish. Get extremely selfish. Work on you. Focus on you. Because for so much of what we hear is that we should be, doing this and going after that and being in tune here and being there for that one. But it starts with self. If you can't show up for yourself first, then you are no good to nobody else. You can't help them. You can't, because you don't have what you need to be a support or to be anything, really, when you're on E. And so you have to pour into yourself and work on yourself. When you're broken, sometimes when you show up like that, and this is especially in parenting, I see it. Even in relationships, marriages, my goodness, when you show up and you haven't done the work, you can cause more harm than good. So with those that you are with and that you love and that you care for, when you don't take care of yourself first and you show up and you're like, well, I'm here. Isn't that enough? No, it's not enough for you just to be here. Because I had a mother that was here. You have a mother that she was there. Or maybe she wasn't, but she existed somewhere. In some way. Just being there isn't enough. How you show up, the quality of your presence makes a difference. So don't ever think of it as, if I just show up, if I just feed them, if I just stay married to him, don't ever think of it like that. You owe it to yourself to be who you're meant to be and to show up in power and to show up authentically. And to not apologize for pouring into you and for taking time with you. You have to be selfish right now. So that's the first step. The second is, do not be afraid of you. What that means is take the time to get to know yourself. The good, bad, the ugly, the flaws, all of it. All of you. And accept who you are. So I talk about acceptance a lot, with accepting who your mother is and understanding that you can't change her. But when I say accept who you are, I mean look at yourself and love yourself right where you are. And then if you want to make any changes, you can do it. You can go for it. But accept yourself, flaws and all, as you are. Love yourself. And do not be afraid of who you are. Because a lot of times we get taught to be afraid or to be ashamed when we're growing up, because our mother doesn't like something, or something rubs her the wrong way, or you look like your daddy, or whatever it is. And we get taught not to embrace and love ourselves. And so we have to change that. So don't be afraid of you. Face up to mistakes and practice forgiveness with yourself. And give yourself grace. Okay? And here's the other thing too. Don't put so much weight on all the things that your mother said. Because a lot of times she was coming from a hurt and a bitter place. Be discerning. Could she have given you good advice at some points? Yes. But when it's coming from a negative place, best believe you need to check what you were hearing from her. So don't just accept all the stuff she has told you and has been telling you as gospel. Get to know yourself. Okay? Get to know yourself. Start from scratch with you, because you're worth it. You are worth it. The third thing to get you started is to not let guilt trip you up. And I talked about this before. Imagine someone who's not you, or either, like in my case, my mother isn't even here. Imagine me trying to work in my life to preserve her reputation and to take care of her memory and make sure she's spoken well of and all those things. Wasn't her life supposed to do that for her? Her own life was supposed to do that for her. So I'm not saying I'm here to bash my mother, because that's not what it is about. I love her despite her shortcomings and how she treated me. But it is not my job to rebuild and retell her story and make her life be a way that it might not have been. Imagine me wasting my time doing that, and she's not even here. While I'm yet living, I'm living, and I'm neglecting all my dreams and my family and the things so that I can preserve how people see her and think of her. Imagine that. That would be crazy. And so that is not your job to build someone else's life for them. Their works should speak for them. You have your own legacy, your own life to work on. So don't let guilt trip you up. Don't let family members trip you up, telling you, you can't say this, you can't feel this way, you can't not talk to so-and-so. Yes, you can. You're a grown woman. You can do whatever you want to. You can do whatever you want to. When you taking care of yourself and you paying your own bills and you are in it for you, you do whatever you want to. Maybe it's different if you answer to someone else, or if you're in their home, or if they're helping you with something. I totally get it. But when you're independent, it's on you. So don't let guilt trip you up. And then the fourth thing I would say is trust the process. It's a process. The whole thing, we are people that are evolving, that are growing. We don't stay the same. We're learning constantly, learning how to do things. We're learning how to be who we are. We're growing into ourselves, into what God wants us to become. That's what this is all about. It's not about staying stagnant. And so you have to be willing to go through the process, and understanding that the growth, the things that hurt you, are going to cause growth. The growth comes from that. It comes from you looking at that, doing the work that it takes to fix those things. And then you will begin to see it in yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you address the world. You'll see it in your relationships. You'll see it in the goals that you have, the things that you want to do, and you will ultimately see it in your impact. Because we are here to impact each other. We're not just here to just be in some bubble and just be like, oh, I'm here and everything's perfect with me and look at me. We are here to impact one another and to unlock gifts in each other and to rise together. That is why we're here. God didn't put us here to just be like, it's all about me and me alone. But in order to make the impact, you have to do the self-work. That part is on you. And so that is why I want to talk about the courage to focus on you today. So I hope the tips and the talk has been helpful. I missed you guys last week, and I'm going to make sure that if I'm not going to be here, I'll let you know, because I forgot to put an announcement out to let you know last week I wouldn't have a live. But I'm here this week, and I will see you next week. I want to let you know that one-to-one coaching is open. As always, if you are looking for a coach to help walk you through the healing journey, I am here for you. And also, I am offering free coaching right now. I'm looking for 3 women that want to go through my program. What I want to do is further vet the program and make sure that it is a good fit for the community of women out there that need to heal from mother-daughter trauma, relationship trauma. And so I want to make sure that the steps I have in place, my worksheets, all the things are good for you. And I also want to help somebody that needs help. So if you feel like you're a good fit and like we can work together, then you can DM me, or you can go to the link in my bio. And there you can sign up for some time with me. And there's a questionnaire when you go to sign up, but it will help you to know if I'm someone you think that can work with you. But yes, I'm looking for 3 women that want free coaching. It's going to be 4 weeks, and it's one-to-one coaching. It is not group coaching. So get at me if that's you or if you're interested. Otherwise, guys, it has been a fabulous Friday, and I hope that you are having a good one and that your weekend is awesome. Bye.